I've wanted to do this video for a long time, but every time I sat down to film it, just new episodes were coming out regularly, so it was hard to continuously update it with all the little twists and turns that happen in this anime. And I did film this the other night, and then something happened to the footage. So here we are again. Hiding in My Room is a slice of life anime that has been featured on youtube.com since 2014. It is a twist on the shonen or young boy genre by having the main character be a child trapped in a 30-year-old man's body.
I'm trying to make a video.
The anime is set in 21st century Japan, though the location of the anime can change on new arcs. The main character is a boy named Daniel Lord.
I wasn't allowed to do anything to her. I wasn't even allowed to touch her. I was so horny all of the time. And one of the things that I used to do to relieve this horniness was I went into the bathroom and they used to leave all of their dirty laundry, and I would go into the bathroom and I would rummage through this pile and I would look for the used underwear. And like you might have guessed, I tried them on. I smelt them, I touched them, and I decided to relieve myself onto them and onto the whole pile of laundry. They were going to be washed anyway. No one would have found out.
The writers have stated in a very rare interview, it's hard to find, that they became inspired to create the character of Daniel Lord when they read the manifesto of Elliot Rodgers. Daniel's everyday misadventures include such episode titles as Going to Get My Divorce Papers, Why My Love Doll is Better Than a Real Woman, and My Love Doll Gave Me a Urinary Tract Infection.
We live in a society.
Other main characters include Asuka, the love doll who comes to life at night and weeps over what her life has become. Chihiro, Daniel's poor, long-suffering mother who is constantly exasperated by Daniel's crazy shenanigans. And the ominous Australian guy, who was the main antagonist of the series and would always pop up unexpectedly to try to chase after Chihiro and become Daniel's new stepdad. There are also potential love interests for our titular main character, including Hong Kong guy and Elvis the Alien. Most animes have some sort of mascot character. Pokemon has Pikachu, Lelouch of the Rebellion has Pizza, and Neon Genesis Evangelion has Depression. And Hiding in My Room is no different. It too has its own mascot character. Cereal.
In 2010, I had cereal for the first time ever in Japan. Before then, I had never had cereal. I've been wasting my life playing video games and watching anime when I could have been having cereal. Now you might be wondering, why didn't you just have cereal? To have cereal.
Daniel just loves cereal. He can't get enough of cereal. He would trade his own mother for a bowl of cereal. Seriously, it's not a joke, it's one of the main plot points that happens in the recent arc. Let's start from the beginning. Daniel used to live in sunny old England, but he found everything boring here, so he chose to move to Japan to be with his mother Chihiro and complain about everything being really boring over there. Everything and everyone bores Daniel, so the premise of each episode is Daniel desperately trying to find something exciting to do and usually failing miserably. Recently, he's even resorted to pretending to be homeless for want of nothing better to do, but we'll get to that in a bit. Daniel is on a mission whilst in Japan, and that's to have as much cereal as physically possible without his mother finding out. Chihiro doesn't exactly like it when Daniel eats cereal because he has a full box of cereal right there at home, and if he really wants cereal that badly, he should just grab a bowl and get some milk and have some of that cereal that he's already got at home. But Daniel rarely listens.
To have cereal.
This is a cause of contention between the mother and son duo. Once Daniel went back to the UK and refused to go back to Japan because he wanted to stop by Germany to grab some cereal there. Can you believe this guy? Daniel ends up going back to Japan because no one will give him any cereal.
To have cereal.
And he ends up buying a sex doll that can magically come to life at night when no one is looking. Like an X-rated Toy Story. That doll's seen some shit, man. Around about this time in the anime, a new and very brief, short-lived antagonist is introduced as Elvis the Alien, who turns out to be a tsundere and bullies Daniel for all of 5 minutes.
I'm supposed to be meeting Elvis the Alien soon, and I'm feeling pretty nervous about it. I've got this big red pimple next to my nose. I don't really want to show it to you. Okay, I'll show it to you, but you have to promise not to laugh.
Oh, he's here.
Are you nervous?
No. I mean, I'm as nervous as I can be, but I'm not really nervous. Oh my god! Hey!
Daniel's mother, exasperated and long-suffering, throws him out for his sins, so he moves into an Airbnb with his sex doll, but soon he gets bored of that, so he ends up chopping the sex doll up into loads of little pieces and moves back in with his mother, taking with him the head of the sex doll, which he keeps in a fridge at night. Some say, if you're really quiet, you can sometimes hear the decapitated head of the sex doll at night, weeping silently as Daniel tries to force feed it more cereal. Daniel gets thrown out again and spends a few episodes being homeless and complaining about how boring being homeless is. Because when it comes to the problems that homeless people have, number one is boredom. It's right up there. At this point, our previous antagonist and now potential love interest, Elvis the Alien, comes to Japan to interview Daniel, and it's revealed in a shocking twist that Daniel has been lying to his audience the entire time. He's not homeless. He's 30 and still lives with his mother.
What terms are you on with your wife right now? Or ex-wife. Why? Oh, you back together with her? No way.
But you can't tell people.
Top 10 anime twists of all time. There's this really interesting breaking the fourth wall move technique that Hiding in My Room does, which is slag off other animes within the anime. It's incredibly meta and big-brained. For example, Daniel takes issue with another anime called Abroad in Japan just because Abroad in Japan brings in higher viewing figures.
I'm not very happy about that, so I'm going to make this video. I'm going to tell everyone about what happened, and unfortunately I will be using his brand name in the title of this video and in the tags, and so when you search his precious brand into the YouTube search engine, my video and my YouTube channel and my not very good reputation is going to tarnish his family-friendly PG brand. I'm so very sorry for that. Not.
Though I do enjoy this ongoing slice of life anime, I do think there are some things that could be worked upon. For example, the intro song isn't the best. Could have more work done to it to really, you know, up its ranks and put it up there with Attack on Titan or Steins Gate. I do just need to say that personally I love the episode title cards. They're fantastic. Never flattering, always hilarious. Honourable mentions go to How I Became a Sex Addict. And my personal favourite, Stop Saying Japan is High Tech. The pose says you'll catch these hands, the face says more like catch chlamydia. I want to touch upon briefly what I think are some of Daniel's best episodes. Just when I think the character can't get any more ridiculous or any more self-criminalizing, the writers go above and beyond and really exceed my expectations. Take this episode in which Daniel was living outside because he's quote-unquote homeless, and he's trying to answer the question that many people posit to him, which is, how can you afford to travel the world when you refuse to get a proper job? And then he explains he used to make money by running scams all the time.
Okay, so before I started living off of my YouTube channel, one of the things I used to do was I went to the job centre they give you money if you don't have a job, and all you have to do is you just go in there every week and you sign your name, and you have to fill out this little diary so it looks like you're looking for work. I would save up all of my money and then just go to Japan before they started nagging, and then come back half a year later and then sign back on, and by then everything resets and they're nice to me again. And then after a few months of signing on, they start getting rude again, and then I just sign off again, go back to Japan. I also used to have an eBay shop. I used to sell cheap tacky things like watches or pens. I would bulk buy them in bulk from Hong Kong or China. For example, I'd buy a box of 20 Spider-Man watches and then sell them for about £2.99 each.
It's ingenious, really. If you really want to get into the deeper themes and the philosophy of the show at its heart, then this little snippet from this episode is really interesting, in which Daniel explains that he can't help but cheat on his mother with other boxes of cereal because fat people eat cake or something.
It's like asking a fat person, why did you just shove that entire chocolate cake down your fat face? It's because we lost control, okay? We cheaters and fat people, we have a problem with self-control and being able to say, no, I don't want that chocolate cake, it's not good for me. I don't know, I lost control. I'm being possessed by a demon between my legs. I think women also find it very difficult to understand why a man would want to cheat.
Did you know that women don't cheat, only men? This episode seems to foreshadow that Daniel may indeed become a full-time stalker in a later arc. Maybe we'll find out in 2020.
So in order to avoid feeling embarrassed and to avoid angering people and getting told off for trying to film them, the best solution that I could come up with was to secretly film them using a GoPro attached to my bag strap.
There is another issue with the show that unfortunately I do not have any video evidence to back up, and that is the voice actor of the actor who plays Daniel Lord. He can be a bit of an idiot. He has a habit of going onto live streams and saying really ridiculous and outrageous shit. I'll try and put up some examples if I can find them, that I feel just really throws the show into a bit of disarray.
And I would look for the used underwear. Now, it was a bit tricky trying to decide which underwear belonged to her, because her sister and her mother also lived in that house and their underwear was also in the pile. Her sister was a bit on the skinny side, so I figured that her underwear would be the smaller underwear. I was unable to take any photos because I didn't bring my phone into the bathroom, but I felt pretty satisfied with the whole experience. I realised that this was the closest I was ever going to get to her and I decided to relieve myself onto them.
I think the producers need to have a chat with him and tell him to, calm down with the extracurricular activities. Anyway, that brings me to the end of this video essay on why I think Hiding in My Room is one of the most important and influential animes of all time, and also ends my thesis on the trouble of the 21st century human condition. If you enjoyed this video, do remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.